So next up, we're going to meet up with Dan Houseman. Hi, Dan. Can you hear us okay?
I can indeed. Morning, Stuart.
Morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Jobs Live channel. You work as a Learning and Development Manager at Ribby Hall, but just tell us where Ribby Hall is for those who may not have heard of it before.
So we're based just outside of Ray Green, sort of between Preston and Blackpool. So accessible by rail from Kirkham and Wesham Station, and there's a bus link just outside.
Brilliant. And if you had to sum up what you do as an organisation, what is it that Ribby Hall does in the community?
Certainly. So we're an award-winning family-based or family-owned business. We're multifaceted, but our focus is all about hospitality and leisure. A key thing for us is the short breaks and holiday market. So we have a number of cottages and properties for people to rent for short or week-long stays. We also have a number, about 300 plus privately owned holiday homes that are classed as second homes, and that's undergoing a further development at the moment, adding 20 new properties to the offer. We also have a variety of restaurants, bars, cafes. On Monday, we opened up our new Pancake House, which has been going down very popular with guests and staff. We have a large health club, so gym, pools, classes, activities, big focus on well-being. We have a spa hotel, so a number of treatments and facilities offered there, plus beautiful grounds, parks, woodlands, play areas for children and families, and a big entertainment offering as well. So quite a lot of things under one roof.
No, it sounds amazing venue, and it must be great to be back as well, Dan. And we're going to be asking that question to all the people today. You know, you've had a tough 14, 15 months, haven't you?
Absolutely. It's been, I think the word that we've heard quite a lot is unprecedented, but yeah, it's not like anything anyone's ever seen before. But it's been so positive. Since the government roadmap was announced, we put our pathway together to phase reopening of the village. Obviously, we could continue that from Monday, and it's been brilliant seeing all of our colleagues return. It's been brilliant seeing all of our guests return, and there's a real feeling of optimism and positivity around the village, which is really nice.
No, absolutely. And would you say you're recruiting more at the moment than normal? Or is this kind of seasonal anyway?
There's probably a little bit more recruitment going on than normal for this time of year. We're not as seasonal as we used to be, but we do see those sort of peaks at certain times of the year. But there's quite a drive at the moment as we're able to open more and more facilities. Plus, we're looking to invest and develop some new facilities, so there'll be further recruitment required for those. But yeah, it's exciting times.
Indeed, and I'm so pleased for you, as we all are here, that you're back up and running, even if it is only in a limited capacity. But I'm sure if we get into the next stage 4, you'll be full like you used to be back before all this kicked in. Before we get into the roles and hints and tips, can I just ask you, how did it start for you? What was your journey into hospitality, Dan?
So my journey, I joined about 12 years ago to manage what was a bistro that has evolved to become the Pancake House. After a couple of years, I then moved across to managing our restaurant. And whilst there was responsible for setting up front of house training, that then became something that other sort of restaurants wanted to partake in. So that became a full-time role, delivering food and beverage training for about 12 months. And then it continued to grow and became a central training and learning and development role. So it's been quite an exciting journey over the past 12 years.
And when you're in school, is this something you always wanted to do, or what was your first job? Can you remember that?
My first job, I used to work on a Saturday or a Sunday at Clifton Garden Centre. So I was watering plants, I was carrying plants to people's cars, sweeping up. So yes, quite removed from what I do now. But I suppose the key thing for me is I've always enjoyed working with people. So I used to work in bars and restaurants through college, through university, delved into banking for a little while, but then came back out and went into the hospitality industry again. The roles have changed. I'm more support now than operational, but I find people fascinating, and it's really rewarding in the role I do now, being able to help and sort of see people develop and move forwards in their careers.
Fantastic. And like you say, you clearly enjoy other people's company and helping them, and that's a key factor. Even in that job that you were doing, your first job, transferable skills that have now led you to do what you do now.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the roles then, because you said there you have got some vacancies at the moment, which is brilliant. What kind of roles do you have on offer right now at Ribby Hall?
So at the moment, and these are all on our careers page on the Ribby Hall website, we have got a number of chef vacancies, and that's something we're really focusing on at the moment. We have an assistant manager for our nursery. We have various team member roles for sort of waiting on bar and customer service positions. We're looking for a number of qualified spa therapists, so for the spa hotel and the beauty side of things. We're looking for evening porter for our spa hotel. We are looking for management roles for Terrazza, one of our restaurants, and also a team leader position in there. Excuse me. We also have vacancies in the grounds maintenance team, and a recent one that's just been added, we're looking for a maternity cover of a senior HR advisor within our HR department. So quite a variety of positions.
We're on your page right now as you were talking to us. So we found ribbyhall.co.uk, went to the careers page, and I've clicked on current vacancies, and all of these are live right now. And our previous guests, they were asked about apprenticeships. It's great to see that you're offering a spa therapist at apprentice level.
Yes, we're a levy-paying business. We have a number of apprentices in the business at the moment in different roles. We're seeing more and more focus on that, and it has allowed us over the sort of recent months to look at how we can retain staff and redeploy them and continue to skill them up. So, yeah, big advocate of the levy scheme.
Brilliant. Well, people can click on there. And what is the application process, Dan? So if someone clicks on one of these, what are they expected to fill in, and what happens next?
So there's an online application form that, again, access through the website. They fill in their details there. A key thing, if there's a specific role you are definitely applying for, it's to make us aware of what role you are looking to apply for. There's an option to click if you want to be considered for other roles as well. So if you see, let's say, a role in Terrazza, and that's the one you're looking for, but you'd be happy to consider for other positions in food and beverage across the village, then there's an option to do that. That then goes through to our HR team, who then will make contact with you and take the sort of next steps, whether that's invite you in for an interview, sometimes a second interview with the department manager or the HR team, and then often a skills test depending on the role.
Okay, so there's quite a few layers to get through, but that's because you want to find clearly the right people. For people who are applying then, Dan, can you just give us some hints and tips? Because clearly you want people to succeed. So what can they do to make sure they get an interview in the first place?
We're hugely focused on people. So we want to see you coming through. We've got a great framework in-house to develop the relevant skill and talent. So the key thing for us is that we get people who are genuinely wanting to succeed and have a very positive attitude. So it's having the correct details on the application form, make sure that your CV is tailored to the role you're applying for, so you really stand out to us as someone that we should be getting in touch with.
Brilliant. Well, we've had a few questions in actually on the chat, so if I may. Sue's asked, do you have any specialists working at your spa, or is it just general staff?
In terms of the spa, it's beauty therapist roles that we're looking for at the moment. We have a number of other positions, roles that exist in there. So from time to time, we'll be recruiting for anything from duty management to spa host, reception roles. There is also a wellness suite that's more based in sort of consultants who will be based in there from time to time. So we've had different sort of physiotherapists and that sort of role based in there as well.
Thanks. Great question, Sue. Maria would also like to know, is there any progression within the company? And I know what you're going to say, so let's talk about progression. But it is important for people to know when they come in that there is a career ahead of them in your organisation, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We know we're a company that some people, it's a part-time role while they're at college or studying, and they've got other sort of career plans. But for others, it is something they want to make a career path, a journey. So we do have pathways mapped out throughout the company. We work, whether it's with our internal framework, sometimes partnering with external companies to make sure there's everything from supervisory through to leadership. There's a great focus on development, and there's a huge number of people that have joined the company at a sort of team member level, and then have moved through to management and leadership positions. And we're really proud of the fact that we can sort of grow talent throughout the business. Talking about succession planning and building for the future. A great story, I guess, is our operations director, Mark. He joined whilst at uni as a lifeguard. He did some part-time work in the bar, part-time in reception, started to move through the layers of management within the health club, and 3 years ago was promoted to an operations director. So we've a number of individuals who've taken similar paths.
Fantastic. Well, I hope that answers your question, Maria. Thank you so much. And then Harry wants to know about the HR position. It says, what qualifications do you need for that, Dan?
It only went out yesterday, so I must admit I haven't actually seen the vacancy. I believe we'll be looking at a CIPD level 5 or above. But the vacancy, the job advert will be on the website to give the details there. As it's a temporary position, for that we would need a level of experience, because we'll kind of need someone to come in and, other than get familiar with the company, be able to sort of hit the ground running. So there'll be some specifics on that as opposed to other roles.
Yeah, absolutely. And clearly they're on your website right now looking at the very latest roles. That's great to see. And
it's great to see.
Hopefully you get a few applications on the back of this. And also, Harry, just very quickly wants to know, do you offer training courses as well for employees?
We do indeed. Some of that is, again, offered internally, so that's a big part of my role. We do a lot around sort of health and safety, role specific. We will bring in external partners who will help with different development opportunities. Because of the variety of the roles we have, we do partner with some of our product houses and support teams as well. So yeah, there's a huge array of different development opportunities tailored to either the role or the level in the business that you're looking to attain.
Yeah, brilliant. Just finally, and Dan, this has been really helpful, by the way. Thanks so much for your time.
Pleasure.
What is it about this sector, do you feel, that people enjoy working in? For you, you've been in this sector a while. What is it about the sector that keeps you getting up in the mornings and wanting to go to work?
Yeah, for me, there's a definite purpose to it, because fundamentally, all we're doing at Ribby Hall Village is trying to make sure that our customers have a fantastic experience, that they leave with great memories, and I think that's become even more of a focus for us now. What we've all been going through over the past 12 months, it's hugely rewarding. Obviously, it has its challenges, but I think we're all built on helping people develop their resilience and improving themselves.
Yeah.
And it's ever changing. It's a fast-paced industry. Every day is something different, and again, we're all based on having great teams and employees working together. So there's a real feeling of positive energy that runs through the place, which is great.
Oh, fantastic. Well, look, thanks again for your time this morning. That's Dan from Ribby Hall, Learning Development Manager, telling us about the vacancies that are there right now on the Ribby Hall website. And we'll put the link up to that page so you can go and have a look and hopefully apply. And if you've got any questions for Dan, feel free to leave them in the live chat, and we'll continue to talk to Dan and get them to his team so you can get the information you need. I'm so pleased for you, Dan, that things are turning back to some form of normality. Enjoy the rest of your week, and hopefully we'll see you back here again on the Jobs Live channel. Take care.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Been joined by Sean Fagan. Hi, Sean.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much for joining us at the Jobs Live channel this morning to focus on hospitality. And boy, has it been a strange 12 months, or probably longer than that, actually. It must feel great to be back at the hotel.
It is great to be back. Obviously, we only opened on Monday due to we didn't have any outside seating. It wasn't really worth us opening. So Monday, very busy day for us, but going forwards, it's looking really good. So it's fingers crossed that nothing happens again.
Indeed. For those who don't know geographically where Wray Green is, just tell us exactly where you are in Lancashire.
So we are around about 4 miles just outside of Lytham and just on the outskirts of Kirkham and Wesham. It's a small little village that's just smack bang in the middle near Blackpool.
Fantastic. And you're the conferencing banqueting manager. Just give us a typical day for yourself. What would you be getting involved with?
So at the moment, due to obviously the restrictions that we've got for COVID, I'm helping out in the restaurant and I'm helping run the restaurant. But we do have several weddings next week. I've got 6 weddings that I need to do. So it's just preparing all the rooms, making sure all the bars are cleaned because they've not been used in about 8 months now, some of them 13, 14 since the first lockdown, and just making sure that everything is in place. We've got all the social distancing where appropriate, and all the staff are up to date and make sure that they know all the different types of PPE that they'll need to wear.
Yes, indeed, because even though we're kind of back to some form of normality, there's still plenty of restrictions and social distancing is still key. And I'm sure you've gone to great lengths to keep not just your customers, but your staff safe as well.
Yes. So all the tables, we've still got them spaced a metre apart. All the staff wear face masks. We also wear gloves. We sanitise all the tables, inside, outside, all the menus. We wear linen gloves to take food out. And we sanitise our hands a good 15, 20 minutes in between everything.
How long have you worked there yourself, Sean? Were you there pre-pandemic?
I was there pre-pandemic, so I've been there now for just over 2.5 years.
And so you can remember how many people you used to see on a regular basis, and on a typical day, how many customers could you serve?
So in the restaurant, on a typical day, you're looking probably around about 80, 90 people, excluding Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're looking well up to 140, 150.
Wow, so that's quite a number of people. And I guess your staff, and we're going to come on to the roles that you're looking for, the staff can be doing a whole range of different activities for you. Is there any particular roles that you're looking for right now to fill?
Yep. So at the moment at Ray Green, we are looking for a full-time housekeeper. We are looking for a full-time receptionist. We're looking for casual front of house for a restaurant and casual conference and banqueting staff. I'm also going to be putting an advert out in the next few days for either an assistant conference and banqueting manager or a conference and banqueting supervisor. I've just not decided which one I'm going to go for yet.
So you're very much involved in the recruitment process. It sounds like you hire people and it's getting back to being busy again. You need more people to join you. What type of people are you looking for, would you say? Ones that are going to be successful, not just working for you, but working in hospitality generally?
So obviously they need to be enthusiastic, friendly and approachable. They need to be able to have good customer service skills and enjoy working with the public, because obviously that is the main part of what we do. We are a customer-facing job. They'll have to work well within a team. So whether it's the restaurant or conference and banqueting, everybody helps each other out. Everybody chips in and does different things. So even if you would be hired for a conference and banqueting, you might be expected to go down and help restaurant if they are busy, and we can change and vice versa. So they'll have to be able to adapt to different situations, but work well within a team.
Yeah, absolutely. So teamwork, communication is absolutely crucial, as it is in a lot of roles, but probably even more so in a team like yours when you're dealing with customers. Because boy, they let you know when things don't quite go right, that you've got to always be serving them.
Yeah.
So just a bit of a question we've had on the chat. Megan wants to know, as a hotel, do you work with nearby tourist attractions, activities to advertise them to your customers? So do you work with the rest of the industry to help understand what's out there in Lancashire?
So we do have a station which has all the local attractions and different events on that we have. We get very busy when it's like Lytham Proms, the Kite Festival and the Firework Festival, because we are so close to Lytham. We do a lot of outside catering as well. So the steam rally that they hold down in Lytham, we do the outside catering for that. We do Lowther Pavilion New Year's Eve. We do all the catering for that as well. And St George's Day down on Lytham Green, it's a big 4-day festival. We're down there, we do all the work for that, all the food. So we are quite involved, but we don't do a promotion as such. So say if you stayed at the hotel, you'd get a discount for Blackpool Pleasure Beach or anything like that. But we are involved within the surrounding us.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the question, Megan. It's really interesting. I mean, obviously, in your role there, it's not just about dealing with customers. You are dealing with other suppliers and stakeholders as well. So having a bit of business engagement understanding would be useful in your industry. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Sean. Before we get into any hints and tips you can get to people applying, can I just ask you where it all started for you? I mean, how did you get into hospitality? Were you in school, college? Can you remember?
So I was in college. It was, I think, 2 days after I turned 18, I got a job in a pub in Wigan because my brother knew a girl that worked there. And from there, I became the duty manager of the pub. And then I just ended up moving from pub to pub, became an assistant manager in 2 different pubs. I then had a break for a year, tried to get out of hospitality, but ended up going straight back into hospitality. And then I worked my way back up from being just a bartender to a supervisor to assistant manager, and then to food and beverage manager and assistant manager of a hotel. And now the job that I'm in now.
Yeah, they're not letting you go that easy, Sean. Obviously, and for you, the passion must be there. I mean, what do you enjoy most about being in this sector?
Every day is different. I know it probably sounds a bit of a cliche, but with the number of functions and weddings and everything that you do, you don't tend to see the same thing twice, and you never know really what's going to happen. So it's fun in that aspect, but it's, for me, I just enjoy it. There's just something about it that I've tried to get out of it, but I've come back to it twice now. So
yeah,
there's obviously something that's making me stay within the hospitality industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So just going back then to people applying for your roles now moving forward, Sean, you know, you clearly see a lot of applications coming through. Probably get frustrated sometimes when people miss things off or don't quite get it right on the application. Let's try and help them today. What advice would you give anyone applying for your vacancies to make sure they get an interview at least?
So for me personally, you need to be clear and concise. Try not to use the same things over and over again. So don't repeat yourself. So if you've had 2 jobs in 2 different hotels or 2 different pubs, don't say the same thing. Try and either reword it or think of something else that you've done in that job that you didn't do in your previous job. Keep your CV, your application, to 2 pages of A4 paper and a cover letter if you want to do a cover letter. If you don't have a lot of experience, then it's a good idea to do a cover letter. You can put your strengths, your weaknesses on. You can explain who you are as a person more, because sometimes it's not all about the experiences that you've got. It is about who the person is. And that, for me, I would rather go for someone who doesn't have the experience, train them up in everything that I need to train them up in, if they're the type of person that I want to work for me, rather than someone that's got all the experience but won't be the correct fit.
Got it. Brilliant. That's great advice. Thank you for sharing that, Sean, here on the Jobs Live channel. And Alan's been in touch as well. And can you take this one for me? It says, are the restaurant staff and housekeeping staff separate roles?
Yes. So the housekeepers look after the 32 bedrooms, and the restaurant look after the 2-deck restaurant that we have. They also do the smaller functions, little birthday parties that we have down there. And then obviously reception, completely different, and conference and banqueting is a different department as well. So although we might work together and the higher up management are close knit to make sure everything runs smoothly, we are completely separate departments.
Brilliant. We're going to let you get back to it because I know you've had a busy week getting ready for people coming back, and obviously last Monday must have been fantastic for you to see people coming back into Villa at Ray Green. And I want to keep my fingers crossed for you, and hopefully we don't have to go back into another lockdown, and you can move forward now slowly but surely, welcoming back to full capacity as well, which I'm sure you want to see. Just finally, before I let you go, what's the, for you and people watching this, what's the best thing for working? What's the best thing about working at the Villa?
So for me, it's since the current owners took over in 2014, the company has gone strength to strength. So we got the rosettes for the restaurant. We built up the reputation for function and events. So now we do over 120 weddings in a year. That's not including any birthday parties or anything else. So we've managed to build up a reputation that is quite well known. We do a lot of in-house training, and a lot of our promotion is within house. So there's the progression straight there. So we'd rather promote someone inside than getting people outside where possible. So there's always the room for growth. We work well together, especially the higher up management. We look at all of the casual staff as well. We do reviews to make sure that they're happy, see what they need to improve on. If they have any ideas, we take everything on board that they say, and obviously we can implement different things. So it's, for me, if you find a company that you like and the management team are good, that is the best thing that you can do, is be with that company, mainly because of the management team and the staff that there are there, rather than constantly moving to try and go somewhere else.
Got it. Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, that does make sense. And again, thanks for sharing that with us. And I know when we meet the rest of the companies today, everybody will have a different take on what they need and the skills and why work for them. But ultimately, it is a great sector to work for, isn't it, as a whole?
Yeah, it's a great sector. So until the pandemic, I would have said it was probably the best sector to work for, because everyone's always going to go out for drinks. Everyone's always want to go out for a nice restaurant. You're always going to have weddings, your birthday parties and everything else. Obviously, the COVID-19 shook the entire industry straight away. I know so many different venues, restaurants, pubs and clubs that unfortunately have closed the doors and probably will never open again. But for everyone that survived, everyone has been fighting tooth and nail to get customers back in through the doors, to make sure that everything is in place. And hopefully this time next year, everything will just be back to how it was 2 years ago before all of this started.
Well, I'll definitely raise a drink to that with you, Sean. That's very positive news. So that's Sean Fagan from the Villa at Ray Green. Sean's the conferencing banqueting manager. Thanks so much, Sean, for joining us on Jobs Live. And let's stay in touch. Let's see. I'm sure as more vacancies come through, feel free to share them. And if someone does want to get in touch, by the way, how can they do that? What's the best way of getting in touch with you about these vacancies?
So all the vacancies are on Indeed. You can also email either myself, which is sean.fagan@thevillaraygreen.co.uk, or you can email the reception team, and the reception team will send it through to the management of whichever department it is that you're looking to get an interview for.
Yeah. And just one question that's come in before I let you go. Just very quickly, do you offer apprenticeships?
So I have done apprenticeships in the past. I personally like apprenticeships, especially if it is someone that wants to work within the hospitality industry, because then it's someone that you can train and show the ropes. And hopefully after the apprenticeship is finished, then hopefully they'll stay with you. Obviously, if they want to go elsewhere, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, we do apprenticeships. Okay,
that was Daniel 06 asking that question. So Daniel, if you do want to get in touch, either email Sean or go to their website, and I'm sure Sean will give you more details about what that looks like. Thanks again, Sean. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully you continue to remain busy, and we'll see you back here on Jobs Live. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you. Bye.
So just now recording. So 3, 2, 1. Thanks, Stuart. So today I have been joined by Eve Hills. Now, Eve works at HBN Restaurants. So hi, Eve. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Good to hear. So could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what HBN Restaurants do?
Okay, so as you said, my name's Eve, and I'm the people consultant for HBN Restaurants Limited. HBN Restaurants are a franchise of McDonald's, and I guess that everyone's heard of McDonald's. Our franchisee owns 12 restaurants altogether. They're a mixture of drive-through and high street locations. Last year, even with the lockdown and the restaurants closed between March and June, our group of restaurants still served nearly 5 million customers. McDonald's and our own business as a franchise of McDonald's aim to make delicious feel-good moments, and they're going to be easy for everyone. That doesn't just mean our customers, but it means our employees as well. So we're open 7 days a week. All restaurants trade a minimum of 16 hours per day, and a number of our sites operate 24 hours. We also get involved in community projects and raise money for the Ronald McDonald House charity.
Brilliant, that sounds great. So a lot of good stuff all in one place. So whereabouts are you guys based? Obviously McDonald's is everywhere, but whereabouts are you guys specifically based?
Yeah, so HBN Restaurants was established in 2001 by Chris and Sue Nichols. They were both working for McDonald's prior to embarking on their franchise journey, and July this year actually marks our 20-year anniversary. So HBN Restaurants have grown to operate 12 sites, starting up at Carlisle, where there are 2 restaurants, zigzagging across Cumbria, Workington, Whitehaven, Penrith, Kendal, 2 stores in Barrow. We've got 3 restaurants in Morecambe and Lancaster, and in 2019, the restaurant on the Isle of Man joined our group as well. We've got 2 operations consultants. They oversee 6 restaurants each. Each restaurant's run by a business manager, with up to 3 assistant managers and a team of shift leaders. The number of crew members in a store ranges from 60 up to 160.
Wow, that's incredible. Just that sheer amount of number is just amazing to hear. So obviously, let's take a little step back from what you're doing now at the moment. But just can you share with us what your first job role was and how you've kind of gone from there to where you are now?
Okay, so I started as a crew member in McDonald's City Centre in June 1997. And this was mainly with the purpose of reducing my overdraft. I'd finished my first year at university, but then I started at McDonald's and I absolutely loved it. I worked there through university and I would work in Liverpool as well. I used to transfer between. After university, I did my floor managers and then my shift managers courses with McDonald's. And then when Chris came and bought the restaurant in 2001, I was promoted to a salaried manager. So I was an assistant manager then. Then I was a business manager, and I was a business manager in Carlisle, Whitehaven. Then I took some time out. We had our first child. Then I went back to Carlisle, still doing the role of business manager. Time out again for a second child, back to being a business manager. And then 3 years ago, because the group had grown so much, the opportunity to take this role as the people consultant came up. which was brilliant because it meant that I could grow on the things that I'd really enjoyed doing as a business manager.
That's incredible. So that just goes to show then that you started off working on the floor and actually in that first step, and you've grown with the company and started off obviously in making your own name in it. So it just shows the progression in just one company. So that's incredible. Yeah. So obviously you've gained that experience throughout so that you know what people expect on a daily basis and understand as an employee. So that's amazing. But speaking of the employees within the company, what kind of roles are you guys starting to recruit for at the moment?
So primarily we're recruiting for crew members and customer care assistants. However, there are also roles available for assistant managers. You can find out more about the assistant manager position in the early careers section on the website. So if we talk about crew members, I guess if you've been in one of our restaurants before, you've probably got some idea of what's involved in working there. But you might not realise the full variety of what we do. Because we want every single customer to have a brilliant experience every single time they visit, that means we must always have hot food, clean and friendly restaurant. And as a crew member, you need to make that happen. Whether you're preparing food, serving on the till, being out in the dining area, looking after the customer's needs. I also mentioned that we're recruiting for customer care assistants. I guess they could be seen as the face of the restaurant. So in a nutshell, they're dealing with customers, making sure everything runs as it should in the customer areas. This includes making the customers feel welcome, handing out colouring sheets, looking after customers' specific needs, keeping the high standards of cleanliness, and just helping to create a really warm and welcoming atmosphere. They need to keep positive communication with the customers on every visit, and feedback to the manager about any customer issues.
Brilliant. So there's some really good meaty roles there that you've just mentioned. So what kind of people are you looking for to not only just join in those roles, but also your organisation in general?
Well, we just need people who are ready to work in a fast-moving and really high-energy environment. You've got to have a genuine smile, and you need to be able to connect with customers and other people that you're working with. So successful applicants need to be confident in approaching and dealing with diverse groups of people. They'll be friendly, they'll be courteous, and helpful behaviour will just come naturally to them. As I said as well, working as part of a team. Communication skills, attentive listening, talking to people face to face, eye contact are really important. People who apply also need to understand that it's really important that we maintain high standards of quality and service as well as cleanliness in the restaurants. So people just need to be able to keep a high energy level whilst they're working. And of course, we're looking for a smart and clean appearance as well, because obviously we're a food business.
Absolutely. So obviously taking on all of that, plus also what you mentioned when that you said about your first job role and your progression to where you are now, why would someone want to come and work for you guys and in one of the McDonald's restaurants?
So every single person that works for us has got their own different story, and that's one of the things that makes me proudest to work for HBN. As I said, my own journey actually started as that summer job in 1997. I mentioned that we have the 2 operations consultants and 12 business managers. Both consultants and 11 out of the 12 business managers actually started out as crew members, same as me. There's really no limit as to how far you can go with the company. We offer apprenticeships in hospitality. These are managed by Lifetime Training, and they're undertaken as part of your usual week. You don't need to go to college, you don't need to do any homework. There's a short video about the apprenticeships, which is going to show at the end of the interview. We also have access to an employee website. There's absolutely loads on there. competitions, extra training videos, but also wellbeing tips, and also access to the employee discount site. The pay rates are £7.50 per hour for those who are under 21 and £9 per hour for 21 and above. This is enhanced by an additional £1.50 an hour between midnight and 6 a.m. There's a meal allowance whilst you're working, and as I mentioned, the employee discount scheme, which goes far beyond just discounted food. We've got a range of full and part-time roles available. One of the best things about McDonald's is that shifts are available around the clock to fit around college, family, other commitments, school holidays. We have a lot of people who will do extra shifts during the school holidays because obviously the restaurant's busier at that time and they're not in their lessons. It sounds like a cliche, but it's true that you're going to make friends for life in McDonald's. And working for our franchise of McDonald's. You'll also develop loads of soft skills, so dealing with people, teamwork, prioritising, flexibility, time management, and trying to balance all your responsibilities. I mentioned at the start that we take part in community projects and fundraising. This includes volunteering with the FA, hosting grassroots football tournaments, and local clean-up projects. If you're in sixth form and you're looking to apply to higher education, previous employees have found that the soft skills they've developed in McDonald's, paired with the volunteering that they've had an opportunity to take part in, really strengthens the UCAS application.
Wow, that's a lot of benefits right there, and it's incredible to see the different variety of things that you can get your hands into, especially with those soft skills, as you mentioned just then. And finally, have you guys got any hints or tips for those that might want to apply for one of your restaurants?
Well, my hints and tips are quite simple, really. I just would recommend that you be confident, be honest, be yourself. And good luck.
Amazing. There's some brilliant hints and tips there. Thank you so much, Eve, for your time and for just giving those pieces of advice and telling us about the vacancies that you have. If anybody's got any questions for Eve or for the team at HBN Restaurants, then please drop them in the live chat, and I'm sure Eve or somebody will come and help answer those questions for you. But unfortunately, that's all from me to you, Eve. But hopefully we'll see you again very soon on the Jobs Live channel. But for now, it's back over to Stu in the studio.
Thank you.
Delighted now to be joined by Amy Meehan. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Stuart. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us again on the Jobs Live channel. It's always nice to have you on. So you work for Connected Talent and you're a talent and sourcing manager. We're going to bring up your website shortly, which has got lots of great opportunities for people to apply into right now. But just briefly tell us what you're all about as an organisation.
Yep. So we are Connected Talent, but we recruit for Connected Health, which is a healthcare company. We cover areas. We cover GB, we cover Northern Ireland, we cover the Republic of Ireland. On a whole, we're actually currently the 7th fastest growing business in the UK. You know, it's massively, the growth we have at the minute is amazing. So what we do is provide care for people who live in their own homes, who want to live independently, but just need that extra bit of help. So it'd be like a healthcare community company. So we do recruit for healthcare assistants, but progress within the business. You know, you can start as a healthcare assistant and work your way up right up to like management, in a short space of time. So we have that progression for candidates and, being able to give back to the community as well.
Brilliant. And whereabouts are you based? Because obviously, sometimes you recruit for care in very local areas, but are you quite widespread? You could get people into care from all over the country?
Absolutely. So at the minute we cover right from like Southport to Sefton. We do Liverpool, St Helens down to Cheshire, Cheshire East, Cheshire West, and we're currently expanding at the minute as well. So it's forever growing.
Brilliant. Okay.
So among all those different bases, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to cut straight to the chase here. We're going to have a look at your website, and got a really nice video on there as well, a day in the life of a care assistant, which is probably worth looking at as well if you want to know more about these roles, because sometimes the title doesn't give away really truly what these jobs do. So I'm looking on there now. So this is your connectedhealth.co.uk work with us website, which we will share the link for, by the way, and underneath that you've got a huge amount of opportunity, isn't there, Amy?
Absolutely, yeah. There really is. There's something for everybody as well. You know, and it's a very rewarding role. You know, it's something that I think people have found, like even during the pandemic, being able to give back to the community, it's even highlighted it even more. And we even grew throughout that. So it's an amazing opportunity for anybody. And people are coming from all backgrounds. You know, it's not people who've always had an interest in care. It's people coming from maybe hospitality, retail, you know, different sectors where they've really thrived in the care industry.
Because every website's different as well. Every care company we're speaking to has a different progression into the application, for example, and the way you want to receive information. I've noticed as I've been scrolling down, there is like an apply button. If I click on that, what normally happens next?
So that will just bring you to, it's a very short application form. You enter your name, where you're from, whether you're a driver or not. Sometimes that can be essential depending on the area that you're applying for. You upload your CV and that brings you straight to basically me. And then I'm able to look through the application and get in contact.
Fantastic. And I'm just going to quickly look because we obviously want to mention to people that we are live on the chat now. And we've had a question in from Mel, actually. Does Connected Talent work with any government schemes? Can you take that one?
Yes, we can indeed. We're actually in the middle of registering for the Kickstart scheme with, you know, certain colleges and things like that in Liverpool. So we're working through that. We're working with, you know, apprenticeships as well, getting that up and going. So you can come on board as an apprentice. And then there's always that option of coming on as an employee, you know, once your apprenticeship is finished. We also do have Connected Academy, which is within Connected Health. So it's our own training platform. And we've only just been approved, like OCN approved. So you're able to do like your level 2 and level 3 with us. So if that's something you were interested in, you know, you can come on board and we can help you put you through the training for everything as well.
Perfect. So just to remind people, if you do want to get in touch with Amy and any of these companies we're featuring today, it's a little bit like Twitter. You just put on there @ and then the first couple of letters should find Connected Talent and Connected Health. So there's 2 chances to get hold of Amy and the team. You simply just click on any of those and it'll then populate the box there, and then you just type away. So Mel, great question. Hopefully that given you the answer you were looking for. And this is what this is all about, really. The Jobs Live channel is taking questions live from people through the channel website. And thank you for answering that one, Amy.
You're welcome.
So obviously lots of opportunities across the country. We were just showing there Northern Ireland, but there is opportunities as well in the Northwest region as well at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, there is indeed, absolutely. So we're currently the main provider for like Cheshire East, Cheshire West, basically everywhere. We do try to, because the role is community based, if you're willing to even travel a wee bit, you know, just maybe a couple of miles, you know, we can definitely accommodate you the very best we can. So it is, and we pay mileage as well, so you know your mileage will be covered and everything like that.
Okay, well if you've got any questions about any of the roles that are on offer, please do go to the Connected Health website and then drop back into Jobs Live and get your questions directly to the team. And Amy and the team, I'm sure, will do their best to answer them. And I'm going to ask you to go on the live chat later, Amy, if that's okay, and maybe share some of the links on that page too. So you're back on the screen now. So I just wanted to, before we let you go, I know well, 2 things really, and it's one of my favourite questions, is your first job. So how did you get into this? I mean, you know, many people start in you know, professions that aren't linked to what they're doing now. Can you remember what your first job when you were in school or college?
Plenty. I actually worked in a meat counter. I worked in a restaurant as a waitress. I actually then went down the line of health or beauty sciences. So I did my level 2, 3, and 5 in health and beauty. So I did that for about 8 years. And then I decided, I was like, no, I'll go back to university, got a business degree, and I got this role out of it. I actually started in commercial recruitment and came then over to healthcare recruitment, where I've had the opportunities myself even to get promoted throughout the company within a short space of time. So yeah, it's flew, and I love it. It's
So-
it's brilliant.
So I'll take you back to your very first job then. You said it was like a meat counter. I mean, you've all got to start somewhere, but even looking back now, was there some transferable skills that you've taken from that role that you're still using today?
Absolutely. Customer service. Absolutely. I think it's something that you can bring through any role. And I remember being so nervous in my first job. I didn't know how to speak to customers. I didn't even know how to serve anybody, and really it's something I have been able to bring up, and especially things like time management. I was only maybe 16 when I started. So having to be in for, 6:30 in the morning, getting up and at it on a Saturday morning, it's not always ideal when you're 16. But absolutely, it's really played into a big part in my career now. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to anyone, young people looking to get back into work? Any form of work experience is good experience.
Absolutely. With Connected Health, we don't require any specific healthcare experience. You don't even have to have personal experience, but we do appreciate, those skills that you learn throughout your life, being able to speak to people, that kindness you have towards clients, like customer service is a massive part of it. So that's the more, the transferable skills we look for, like the softer skills as opposed to actually hard on experience.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you can get any type of work experience, even if it's a couple of weeks, unpaid. I did a voluntary placement where I had to work for a couple of months and didn't get paid, but it's brought me into the next level then, where I could go and have the experience for my next job.
Brilliant. Well, that's great advice, Amy. And I know you wouldn't mind telling us about your first job, because we're always fascinated by that question, because I think some people turn their nose up at working, like you say, in a shop, or even working in something unrelated to what they want to be ultimately. But you've proven again today that very first job when you were 16, you're still gaining, knowledge. But that was that foundation that you built up about dealing with customers in a very varied environment.
Absolutely. And I think it gives you the structure as well, having that working routine, even if it's only on the weekends or one evening a week, it gives you that even appreciation, like earning your own money, gives you that appreciation for like savings and even things like that when you're growing up. It's things I've brought into play too. Like we've recently just bought our own house, and it's only because we were able to save so structurally, throughout, since I was 16, there was always a wee bit of money went to one side. So definitely it's even played massive parts of my personal life in that kind of respect as well.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the new house. And I
you.
know last time we had you on, you had a pet as well. Is the pet in a safe place today?
Yeah, in the crate, locked up. No, I'm joking.
Brilliant.
He's happy too.
Fantastic. Just before we let you go, obviously it's all great showing people these vacancies and the opportunities that exist, but we also want to support people to make sure their application is as good as it can be when they do apply to you. So any sort of tips today that you can give people about what to put on there as a recruiter that makes them stand out?
As I said, it's not so much about like your past experiences. You don't necessarily even have to have worked before. It's more like you want to bring across like your personality as such in a CV, and that you're caring, kind, willing. Time management always comes into it big, because as this is community role, you have a set time to be in each client's house for. So things like that, seeing your interests, maybe what you would have taken part in school if you played sports, things like that, and just having a clear structured CV, so we're not having to like root through it, to find anything out about you. So having that structure in your CV as well is a really big bonus.
Yeah, and when they get to interview stage, hopefully they do, based on that information you just provided. Again, at interview, what is it you want to hear them say that really reflects the kind of people you're looking for?
It's having that ability to want to help people. The way we always look at it is if that could be my grandparent, that could be my elderly parent,